The Windows 10 2-inch-1 arena has exploded over the last few years, with a host of different form factors that can morph from a traditional notebook into touch and pen-based tablets. The 360-degree convertible is a popular category that's expanded to include everything from 17-inch behemoths to incredibly thin and light machines with 13-inch displays, and smaller. The Asus Zenbook Flip S is one of the newest, and most extreme, examples of the latter design that we've ever reviewed. According to Asus, the Zenbook Flip S is the world's slimmest convertible laptop, and the machine is certainly slim at 0.43 inches thin. It's also equipped with a powerful 7th generation Intel Core i7-7500U, meaning that, in theory at least, you're not compromising function for form. You're also not being asked to pay too much. The Zenbook Flip S is a reasonable $1,400 with 16GB of RAM and a 512GB solid-state drive, SSD. That price includes an active bin, a USB Type-C hub, and a slipcase. We reviewed the Microsoft Signature Edition version available only at the Microsoft Store, so it didn't include all Asus software utilities. If you can live with the matte gray color scheme and don't need the active bin, you can get the same basic configuration for $1,200 at Best Buy, with all of the Asus utilities pre-installed. All this looks promising, but it raises one fundamental question: what are you compromising to smash all that power into such a thin device? Luxurious, rock solid, and hot. The Zenbook Flip S is a stunning machine, just like the smaller Zenbook 3 and the larger Zenbook 3 Deluxe. Our review unit was adorned with a royal blue and gold color scheme, and we liked it a lot. It's easy to fabricate shiny parts and bold colors and end up creating something garish, but that's a faux pas Asus masterfully avoided. The laptop's colors blend together at just the right angles, curves, and diamond-cut edges to create a machine that's subtle yet striking. Asus' trademark concentric ring effect on the lid firmly places the machine in the Zenbook family. It's a premium and attractive look, and according to Asus, is also expensive to create. Build quality is also a highlight. The Zenbook Flip S is light, but still manages to feel balanced whether the lid is open or closed. At 2.43 pounds and 0.43 inches thin, it's around half a pound heavier than the Zenbook 3, but it's also a bit thinner, even though it's a 360-degree convertible that can fold into 4 configurations including notebook, tablet, tent, and multimedia modes. The machine's size is reduced by slim display bezels, yet Asus managed to put the webcam in the preferred location above the display. Asus built the 2-inch-1 with aircraft-grade aluminum alloy that's 50% stronger than what the company typically uses, and it shows. The Zenbook Flip S feels like one solid chunk of metal. The hinge, which Asus calls the world's smallest, stays right where you want it as well, and it spins around into tablet mode with confidence. Attention to detail is apparent throughout, with a nice cutout that makes it easy to grab the hinge and lift. When it's open beyond 135 degrees, the edge of the lid props up the keyboard at a slight angle for more comfortable typing. Asus engineers are good, but they're not magicians. Physics matters, and if you pack a full power Core i7 processor into such a tight space, you're going to pay a price in thermal management, and even a modern cooling system can only go so far. The chassis gets hot on the bottom left side where the CPU is located, and when the machine is working hard you won't want to hold it on your lap. Limited but futuristic connectivity. When a notebook is this thin, there's not a lot of room for ports. Some smaller machines, like Apple's MacBook and Asus's own Zenbook 3, include a single USB 3.1 Type-C port. With these, not only will you need a dongle for legacy devices but you'll need one just to connect a second peripheral. Asus includes 2 USB 3.1 Type-C ports to go with a 3.5mm headset jack in the Zenbook Flip S, which is an improvement, but still represents limited connectivity. Note that either port can be used for charging the machine with the included USB Type-C charger, and in our testing, by some third-party chargers, as well. Asus mitigates the pain a bit by including a USB Type-C mini dock with a third USB 3.1 Type-C port, an HDMI connection, and a USB 3.0 Type-A port. It's color coordinated as well, so it looks good when plugged into the Zenbook Flip S, and the included slipcover includes a handy pocket for when you need to carry the dock around with you. Built-in ports are always better, but kudos to Asus for including a couple of nice accessories. The 1080p display is merely average. Asus currently offers only a Full HD, 1920x1080, display for the Zenbook Flip S in North America, which is just fine given its 13.3-inch dimensions. The company lists a 4K UHD option on its website, but that hasn't made its way to stores yet. Our testing found the display was just average in most tests. Its color gamut was 70% of Adobe RGB and 94% of sRGB, which is less than the Dell XPS 13 2-inch-1, but slightly better than the similarly thin and light Acer Spin 7. Color accuracy, on the other hand, was a bit worse than we like to see at 2.82. 1.0 or less is considered excellent, though right in line with our comparison machines. Brightness was on the low side at 285 nits, over 300 nits is usually preferred to overcome bright lighting on glossy displays like the one on the Zenbook Flip S. The machine's 2-inch-1 competition had similar results, however, such as the Dell XPS 13 2-inch-1 at 251 nits, and the Lenovo Yoga 72013 at 291 nits. The contrast ratio was on the low side as well at 720:1, while the QHD Plus display on the XPS 13 2-inch-1 was excellent at 1120:1. Just good enough audio quality. Asus partnered with Harman Kardon on the Zenbook Flip S's audio system, and touts larger speakers with a more dynamic design. There's also the ICE Power Audio Wizard app, to adjust sound for the use case, music, video recording, game, and speech, and push volume to the max. In our testing, we found audio to be good enough for watching the occasional video and for casual music listening, but volume was limited and distorted at 100%. Bass was nowhere to be found. The powerful processor makes its presence known. Asus took an aggressive approach to performance with the Zenbook Flip S rather than opting for a more conservative chip. It packed in a powerful 7th generation Intel Core processor, the Core i7-7500U. It outran many other 2-inch-1 devices, but not all of them. While the Zenbook Flip S performs better than the low-power CPUs in machines like the Dell XPS 13 2-inch-1, another incredibly thin machine, just like the Zenbook, there's some apparent throttling going on compared to other, slightly thicker machines with the same Core i7-7500U. And as we noted earlier, the chassis can become hot at full load. The Geekbench 4 results demonstrate that, at least in short-run performance tests, the Zenbook Flip S benefits greatly from its full-power CPU. It scored 4,142 in the single-core test and 8,158 in the multi-core test. That's very competitive with other machines using the same CPU, and significantly faster than most competitors, including the thicker HP Spectre X360. The Dell XPS 13 2-inch-1, with its low-powered CPU, scored a much lower 3,837 in the single-core test, and 6,401 in the multi-core test. Asus managed to squeeze better performance out, but at the cost of using the notebook on a lap. Our more intensive handbrake test, which encodes a 420 GB video to H.265, tends to push the CPU harder for a longer period, meaning that heat and throttling are more likely to be factors. And in fact, the Zenbook Flip S took 1,477 seconds to complete the test. That's slow compared to the HP Spectre X360, which finished in 1,095 seconds, yet had the same processor. The Dell XPS 13 2-inch-1 and Acer Spin 7 both took longer at 2,027 and 1,700.